Truck crashes into spurry jerk stall. 2 people narrowly escaped serious injuries after a truck laden with steel crashed into a jerk center on Spurtree Hill. A police source said preliminary investigations suggest that the driver lost control of the truck due to brake failure. Reports are that shortly after 7 a.m., the driver and his assistant were traveling in the heavy unit when it reported developed mechanical failure. It is reported that the driver, in an attempt to minimize damage, swerved right and crashed into a jerk center, which was closed at the time of the morning. Police said a taxi was also involved in the crash with minor damage. The accident-prone Spurtree Main Road links Mandeville and its environs to St. Elizabeth and points west. Heavily laden, slow-moving trucks often hinder traffic on the steep, difficult hill, and there have been several fatal crashes including trucks over the years. Cops probe death of Ukraine on ship docked in Jamaica. Police are probing the death of a Ukrainian on a container ship dock at the port in Kingston. The dead man has been identified as a 47-year-old, the ship's chief engineer, who resides in southern Ukraine. He was reportedly found dead Monday by a member of the ship's crew, reporters has learned. The Newport West Police reported that around 11:45 a.m. on Monday, checks were made to his living quarters by a crew member when he was found partially dressed and lying on his back across the bed. He was motionless and foaming from both corners of the mouth, the police said. Lawmen boarded the vessel, called Crystal A, and found him shirtless and clad in black and grey short pants. No marks of violence were seen, the police stated. Several blood spots were observed on the lower posture, synonymous with liberty. Passengers narrowly escaped death after vehicle plunged into river in Negril. A Toyota Vaxi carrying passengers narrowly avoided disaster after it veered off the Negril Bridge and plunged into the river on Tuesday morning. Deputy Superintendent of Police DSP Mitchell, Zone 4 Commander for Little London and Negril, stated that the police are currently investigating the incident, but the individuals involved have already left the scene. There weren't any apparent injuries. The paramedics arrived at the scene quicker than the police. The individuals didn't leave their names, Mitchell revealed, adding that the police will be using technology to locate the persons in the vehicle. The exposed area, Mitchell said, has been cornered off and a wrecker and crane on site to remove the damaged vehicle. 2 arrested, AR-15 seized in Manchester operation. 2 people have been taken into police custody and an assault rifle seized following a cornered and search operation in the Batista New Green area of Manchester on Tuesday morning. A cordon and search operation carried out in the morning commenced about 4:30 a.m. in the Battersea New Green area. An AR-15 along with a quantity of 5.56 rounds were seized during the search. 2 persons have since been taken into custody for questioning, head of the Manchester Police Superintendent Shane McCullough reported. Superintendent McCullough said the operation is ongoing. The individuals are being questioned in connection with the fine. Increase in gated communities across the island contributing to fewer jurors showing up for court cases. An increase in the number of gated communities across the island is being highlighted as one of the reasons fewer jurors are showing up for court cases. The revelation was made by Chief Justice Bryan as he addressed a swearing-in ceremony for the Court of Appeal of King's House yesterday morning. According to the Chief Justice, gated communities pose a challenge to lawmen who need to serve persons with jury notices. He said this resulted in persons of low financial standing who do not have the economic means to serve being selected as jurors. The Chief Justice also lamented that only those jurors who are selected are paid for their service.
And with the proliferation of gated communities, both in Kingston and across the island, they are presenting a challenge to the police to get into these communities to serve the documents and the requisite persons, so that all of those things combined result in small numbers of persons turning up as jurors. And then when you go along the north coast, let's say from St. Mary going down to Hanover, and you will have a number of hotels, you have financial institutions, so that would tend to suggest that you have managers, you have supervisors, you have persons within the financial institutions, and when you look at the jury pool, you hardly see any of these persons appearing in the courts as jurors. And so the jury service tends to fall disproportionately, I think, on the persons who can least afford it. Now, it's not an intelligence question, no. This is just a simple fact that for many of the persons who turn up for jury service simply don't have the economic means to serve as jurors, because the system is that, in essence, they have to fund their travels and bear the expenses. And under the present system, only those who are selected as jurors receive a stipend at the end of it. So all of those who travel from the border regions of the parish coming down to the court, who are not selected as jurors, there's no stipend to get. And a significant number of our jurors do not have bank accounts or accounts with financial institutions. So when they are paid with a check, the bank charges a fee.
Opposition says critical shortage of court reporters impacting sitting of Mention and circuit courts in 3 parishes. The opposition People's National Party PNP is contending that a critical shortage of court reporters is affecting sitting of Mention and circuit courts in St. Catherine, Clarendon and St. James. In expressing her concern over what she described as a deepened crisis, opposition spokesperson on justice, Senator Donna Scott Mosley, says the situation poses a significant threat to the efficiency of the judicial system. The senator says the reporter's absence not only endangers the resolution of cases, but also undermines the integrity of the legal process and the constitutional requirement for a fair and timely hearing. She notes that the Director of Public Prosecutions has indicated that the situation has resulted in delays in cases set for trial in various circuit courts. Senator Scott Moore asserted that a relevant justice system is necessary to alleviate the issue of crime.
Despite repeated pleas for attention to the alarming shortage of court reporters, the government has failed to take meaningful action. This failure has now led to the possibility of the circuit courts in St. Catherine, in St. James, and in Clarendon being impacted. It is high time for the government to prioritize the needs of the court reporters, ensuring that their compensation is adequate and focusing on increasing their numbers to meet the demands of a functioning justice system. It is critical that if we are going to deal with the crime situation, people must feel that they can rely on a proper justice system.
Defense questioned cell tower certificate in Shanika Gray murder trial. Chumu Paris, one of the defense lawyers representing the man accused of killing 15-year-old Shanika Gray, raised questions on Monday about whether a certificate of functionality had been received from telecommunications provider Digicel for information provided by the company and utilized in the police investigation. Did you receive any information from Digicel as to the functionality of the cell towers during the period of your analysis? Questioned Paris, who was cross-examining the officer in charge of communication forensics and cybercrime division in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Deputy Superintendent Maurice Good, in court on Monday. In response, DSP Good said he was unable to speak to that. Cell tower information has played a significant role in the case against Gregory Roberts, who is currently on trial in the St. James Circuit Court. On Thursday, it was revealed that cell tower records had placed the 2 accused men in the location where Shanika Gray's body was found on February 1, 2017. The other co-accused, Mario Morrison, had pleaded guilty in September 2022 after entering a plea deal with the state and was sentenced to life in prison a month later. The Cell Global Identity (CGI) information indicated that at 8:58 and 9:07 p.m. on January 29, both men's phones were being served by Section 4 of the Tucker Hill Cell Tower, one of the towers that covers the Irwin area. It was also revealed that some text messages read in court were sent from this tower. When questioned by Paris, DSP Good explained that while other towers were within the area, The nearest tower with the strongest signal to a cell phone is normally selected by the network to provide the best connection and avoid call drops. DSP Good's testimony concluded on Monday. The case continues today at 11 a.m. The other lawyer representing Roberts is Leroy. Gray, who was a 10th grade student, was found 3 days after she was reported missing. She was last seen alive in Montego Bay while on her way home from a funeral of a schoolmate. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.